to finish on a positive note, if that's at all possible, what's the most fun part of being an Antarctic researcher?
The most fun. Well, actually, this is the hardest question of this evening. Yesterday, I've been in a lecture of the head of the expedition North Pole 41, which was in the Arctic. It's drift with the ice for 19 years. Or years, maybe.
It kind of felt like 19 years. So quick comments for you guys.
Yeah.
They were away for 1 year, like one calendar year. And this was fun.
That's me personally, 1 year, but actually 19 months was the whole expedition, and there were people who drifted there, the whole bunch of it. So the thing that after this lecture, there were questions, and all of them were like interesting and got their answers except one. The question was, what's the funniest thing that you had in expedition? And the lecturer, actually the head of the expedition, he said, well, that's not that easy to answer that question. Maybe somebody from the expedition who actually here, we were like 5 maybe people from that expedition right there, and he asked maybe somebody will answer this question, and we were like,
really? Scientists don't have fun. They have they think there is kind of a like moral obligation, like to be serious people. I know for a fact that that's not really true. They still have fun, big time. Why is it difficult to think about a fun thing? Is it because of the gravity of the whole situation with the climate?
Well, no, it's just it's simple, because all the fun that we have, it's just like basic fun that
stays in the Arctic. What happens in the Arctic stays in the Arctic. It's this kind of secrecy around this.
Well, yes and no. Yeah, it's like what you usually have fun of. Then we have as well. We are all people, and
okay. We're mortals. We're mere mortals.
Yeah, and then we have our like local fun, like professional, inside jokes and everything, and this kind of fun that is like
too niche for people to make sense of.
Yeah, the fun that we can talk about. And you will understand like immediately. It's like this what kind of
there will have to be a backstory is what he's saying. Usually it will probably be amused by to a very small extent, and you will have to make sense of the whole scenario that unfolded before. Fun not as in laugh out loud kind of fun, but fun as in what's the most exciting part, something that keeps you coming back year after year.
Well, that's easier. Well, different people usually answer differently on this. Well, as for me, it's just because being there, it's already fun, because it's job that I like, it's environment that I like new people, sometimes new places. Arctic is different, like one island, other island, land, ice, sea, it's all different. So all the time you have a new expedition, new place, new people, new job, new tasks. So all the time, like good old Arctic and something new. So that's the place where you change your environment
all the time. So a share of consistency and a share of novelty that kind of keeps it exciting. That's cool. Actually, I didn't think about this. That's interesting. What's the toughest part about staying away from civilization for so long, if anything? Let's say, what kind of person, what does it take to be able to stay away from civilization, loved ones for so long and not go crazy?
Yeah, so there are two, well, roughly, two kind of people who go to Arctic. So if you're going like third, fifth time or more, then you're like get used probably to that, and you feel more or less comfortable. And if you're not feeling comfortable, you probably won't go.
You won't go back.
Yeah, so after first time, maybe second time, you will like, no, it's not mine, and so you will not work there. Yeah, but also there are examples like some guy gets to Arctic, like to the wintering, like for the first time, and like by the end of the wintering, like by the end of the year, he's like, well, I'm so tired. Well, this was so harsh. Never ever.
Oh,
and you like, come on, see you like
see you next year. Oh,
and yeah, what do you think?
Right.
Next year, like he's there.
He's
yeah.
There
so that's different. It works differently. So some people get back, some people never. So and for those who get back, it's kind of easy, but there are some tough parts, and you can go crazy because like long isolation. You will not feel it, but when you get back, then you feel it. And actually not you, but people around you will notice that. So
yeah, I mean that's my favorite / least favorite part when he comes back. To me, the Arctic is like, well, I don't know what the effect then the Antarctic is going to have. Maybe it's going to be different. But the Arctic trips are like going to Mars or the moon or whatever, like a different galaxy. Because when they come back, well, I mean, you can imagine like not having to use money. I don't know, call a taxi, interact with strangers. Like you're stuck in this in the same space with the same group of people. So they sort of grow on each other in this very interesting way. So when they get back, it's like they're, I don't know, like toddlers again, you know, in a sense, in terms of social skills and aptitudes. So yeah, it's really tough to for the people doing the waiting, it's really tough to have this transition period, and that's also very bittersweet because you're looking forward to this, obviously, especially when it's a longer trip, and then you just know it's gonna suck. Like the first couple of days, sometimes longer, you have this really weird reacquaintance period when they have to, work their way back into polite society. I don't know if it's true for every person, every Arctic sign. Maybe that's just what you're like, but I'm not sure. I guess it probably is the default setting.
From my first wintering, when I got back, it was 10 months, and I needed a month to almost fully recover for that. From that, first week. I didn't talk. I was just usually getting to the company. I was just sitting and watching, smelling, listening. So that was
sensory overload, basically. From how many different? Oh, interesting. See, I wasn't there to witness this. But yeah, it's usually pretty weird. Well, after the one that we had last year with this North Pole drifts, it was, I think, quicker probably. I don't know, it was easier. Maybe it's just the force of habit. Would you say that was easier or not really?
Yeah, it's again, yes and no. So that was easier, to get back to normal life, use money and cross the street, but it's probably because of experience, and maybe socializing went better because my first wintering we were 17, and this time we were 48, so that's an effect actually. I think.
Oh, how big the group is. how similar it is to like actual interactions in society.
Yeah.
Ah, wow.
And
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, and also during my first wintering we had like we didn't communicate that much among each other because we lived like relatively far away from each other, like two people in one cabin, but like
they were like spaced apart.
Yeah,
that sounds creepy, doesn't it? Like a setting for like a horror film.
Yeah, it's like a small village like that. But the second wintering, like last year, we were on the same ship. So the next door, one guy, the next door, another one, and so on and so on. That was more of socializing for that. Yeah.
And also, as you can imagine, a lot more convenient because they had this like space ship basically, but embedded in ice, and it's like a hotel basically that's just drifting very slowly through the Arctic. I kind of feel like it's great to not have to like make a lot of decisions in terms of your household duties, because you have somebody like do your laundry. I mean, you have to take care of the laundry, but it's like done for you. You don't have to cook or choose even what you're gonna have for every meal. So I think that's what's infantilizing. You're not having to. We just, we talked about on the course, we talk about prisoners and the effect that prisons have on people, and it's kind of similar in this really weird way, because you lose a lot of this, like decision making capacity.
Yeah, more of that. Then you're like you do not plan like far, and you don't have to because
you have it all planned out, mapped out
you have your basic like tasks, basic routine, and then you like just follow it. But also if something goes wrong, and when you're in the Arctic,
things go wrong
like all the time, and if nothing goes wrong, then it's something wrong.
Something is wrong, but you just don't know yet.
Yeah, like that. So you're just like on a standby to solve the problems. You're not planning like to solve it sometime. So you have plans for one day, maybe two.
Again, not a great setting for anxious people, I guess. Like something shit is gonna happen. Some shit's gonna go down. I don't know what kind of shit. I gotta be prepared for anything. I would just die in this environment. Like we would have to anticipate something bad happening.
Yeah, usually polar guys, they are more or less calm people. Yeah.
Yeah, like you wouldn't survive otherwise. I guess like you would just go crazy.
Yeah. And actually, we got far enough from climate change, but I will get back a bit because, as I mentioned, my first wintering and second wintering. As you might remember, I said that in the first one we lived in cabins, like small houses, and it was kind of a village. That was just on the ice floe, and some houses on it. And the second one was on the ship, and we were lived there. But also, that was the same, Arctic Ocean and the ice which we worked from, and the reason that these things changed in our living is that ice conditions, the ice flow, which is suitable for living on it, like for the whole year, and it will bear us for a year. We cannot meet anymore. So that's why the ship was built especially for this kind of drifts. So North Pole 40, which was my previous wintering, that ended in 2013, and then the gap of 9 years, and North Pole 41, which was on the freshly built ship, that was because of this climate change, because ice is not the in that state to like meet our requirements.
Yeah.
So that's the living example.
Yeah, I mean it's actually a very dramatic story. I hope we can find some photos so I can include them. They actually had to be rescued, I guess. The ice just broke. It was the no?
Yeah.
Where you had to be airlifted or whatever. Airlifted or the ship came?
Ship.
The ship, another icebreaker ship came to pick them up because it was like the conditions became unviable anymore. And then they took this 9-year break, built the ship, and then they're back. So it's like technically impossible to even stick to the same protocols anymore in Arctic research. So I think that's really telling, you know. All right, let's do a surprise question. Is there something like you think you can ask me that my subscribers would like to learn about? What is it? I don't know. What is it like for me to be so engaged, so close to this whole thing?
Yes, please open this.
Pandora's box.
Yeah.
What do you want me to talk about?
Well, it's about waiting.
The waiting. Obviously, I mean that's the most frequently asked question. Long distance relationships, waiting, blah blah blah. It's a whole journey, honestly. Like last year, it was the longest trip ever that I had to endure, and I mean it really it's a life-changing experience. I don't regret it. I would not repeat it if I had the choice. Like I'm not nostalgic. It's funny because I'm a very nostalgic person, and last year I have no nostalgia over at all. Like it was tough. It was character building, yes, but tough. And I kind of feel like it takes a special kind of person to go to the Arctic, the Antarctic, and enjoy it. And it also takes a special kind of person to be able to be in this committed relationship with somebody who goes to the Arctic and enjoys it. And I kind of feel like you gotta be able to be very okay with just being on your own for prolonged periods of time. And that's just what I'm like, because I have kind of a lot going on, and I'm able to just be at relative peace with myself for these prolonged periods of time. And also, I mean, one of the perks though, so last year, as you can imagine, that's probably really weird to even think about. Like you couldn't really, with all the space technology in place, you couldn't make a call. You couldn't text. You had to use an email address that they shared, like a team of 4 people all using the same email address. So privacy issues, as you can imagine, were kind of a concern. So you had to write letters. Isn't that very romantic? If you think about it. And so I was going about my day, and then I would piece this letter together, and I would take photos that I would want to send to Nikita so that he can stay updated, stay in the loop. That really, I think, it's a very introspective experience to be narrating your life for somebody you love, and then he replies back, and I get this insight into what they're up to out there, and that really helped us. But it takes a lot of commitment. A lot is at stake. I think it's really easy to drift, quite literally, pun not intended, to drift apart as you have this experience, because I kind of feel like people are not really used to this, and we have this idea of having to spend quality time together to receive this confirmation all the time. And when you don't have this, and you can't even hear the person's voice. That's maybe one of the toughest parts, honestly, because what your mind does to you is you forget. That's my coping mechanism. It's really fucking scary because I forget what his voice sounds like. I forget what he looks like, although I have the photos and the videos and everything. When he comes back, it's I have to refamiliarize myself with what he looks like because I forget. Literally, if I had to, I have a very vivid imagination, but I just can't for the life of me, imagine what it looks like. That's a way, that I'm protecting myself from hurt, I guess. So yeah, it's actually pretty dramatic, as you go through this. And yet, I don't know, I feel like I was a part of this trip as well. I'm a legitimate member of the expedition because I did a lot of mental labor during this time. So yeah, I mean, it makes me feel proud. I'm really in awe, honestly, of when I think about your career, those historic, milestones for science, for the globe, and I get to witness it, participate, be sad about it, be petty about it, because it's the night before the trip, and I'm getting annoyed just so I can process it better. So I'm on my human scale, am also a part of this really big picture. So that's exciting. That's not something I would trade, I guess, for anything. So that's why we're here after all this time, all the hardships. So yeah, I guess that's very touching. That's the touching moment of this video. Alright. So that's all. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Well, yeah, all the time that when people ask what's the like toughest part of the expeditions of wintering and so on, they ask you actually, but it's always better to ask the one who actually stays. Yeah, so that's not like not obvious, but it's the most important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there is, well, you know, like I always say, look for the human story. So it's a climate change, you know, fairy tale, but it's still like we're humans and there's human, you know, like motivation at stake. So when we look at this from the human perspective, I think that's the way to make it interesting. Listen to somebody with their idiosyncrasies, with their passions, and that's how we, you know, make people care through relation to us as human beings. So hopefully this was educational, fun. I'm not sure. I think I'll be cut it in half probably, like the science part and the emotional part, not to overwhelm you guys. So yeah, I guess that's it for our interview. Let us know what you think. Ask questions that I will then forward to the expert here, so he can get back to you on it. So thanks a lot for sticking with us, and see you next time probably. Bye. Thank you. Это один тейк вообще был.